It's a laptop.
Welcome to Battletech, Blades of Honor, Season 1, Episode 22, 3046. Rad is raising his hands for some reason. It's really thrown me off.
It's fun to raise your hands sometimes,
Okay.
especially when it throws your friends off when they're trying to do something.
Great.
I
Previously,
do. Yeah, go ahead.
what you need to know, audience, is that Raddosaurus is getting into Warhammer 40k, and it's completely altered his personality in the process. He's turned into a mischievous trickster, which is why I know he's going to be playing Harlequin armies only.
I found out that the audience doesn't find me obnoxious on Arthur's Discord, so now I know I can really ratchet it up to the next level.
I don't know
Arthur's
what to
excited.
say to that.
He's speechless. He's so excited. I'm eating year-old Girl Scout cookies right now as well.
I didn't know they could become Girl Scouts that young.
I'm a Girl Scout, James. Okay, this is America. Haven't you ever heard the song?
Yes.
So, in a way, what we could be discussing is goals for our character, which, of course, since the last time we played months ago, you've all been working on. And
Months
a
ago.
reminder that the last episode, 95% of it was just me absolutely having to make up literally everything on the fly.
I was enjoying watching you have a panic attack in real time.
Okay, great. So, just to talk about all of the plot lines we currently have up in the air, it is a marriage proposal to Henya Takeda, whether she will or will not join. You are currently at a ball being held by the military governor of Kazunijoy Prefecture of the Galadon Military District. That is a bunch of words, but it's basically the guy in charge of the military on your planet, who I didn't name last time. His rank is Shosho, which is a brigadier general. His name is Eisen Hughes. What are some other outstanding problems you have? Your father, if you are a member of House Genji, is missing. You need to report back to your Baron, Koji no Sagi, the Shugo of Hangetsu Bay. You started the possibility of a war, but you definitely 100% are going to be opening yourself up to border raids and legal action. Someone will have to answer for that to some extent. Several of you may be under investigation by Detective Hirohito Goro, who we haven't heard of in some time. And it has been a long time, but let us not forget that Akari Genji decided that the life of the samurai may not be everything that she wants out of life, and has decided to go full fucking gangster. Immediately after making that decision, you left the planet, but the repercussions of such a decision are coming back to haunt you. Did I miss any active... Oh, yes, and our boy, Siegfried Arnsson, is looking for a wife at the party.
Yep.
And he's trying to figure out how to conduct himself at court better. What a noble goal. Did I miss any ongoing major plot lines?
Are we treating the find a wife at the party as a personal goal?
That's a good goal. I wouldn't...
Okay.
If you say wife and then we treat it like engagement, or even just like the first steps of dating with the intent of getting engaged, that's fine too. We don't need to strictly be like, if you don't get married at this party, that goal is not complete.
Just take the girl and go and run off and elope right now.
That's problematic behavior in this time period. The
You're right.
46s are a rough time.
Yes, I just found out my niece is engaged to a guy she's been dating for about a month.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have strong opinions on that one way or the other. I have for no commentary. All I have to ask is, what are some other goals you all have?
Nieces are crazy.
Wow, now we're into that Spider-Man. Ants can come in all shapes and sizes.
Well, Rad, if it makes you feel any better, this guy's also in the army.
Uh-oh. Huge mistake. Wave her off immediately.
I had a question actually, AP. So
Yes.
I just want to quickly, just so I understand the lay of the land. So in the last episode, at the ball, I ended up speaking to a person who was encouraging us to potentially spread our wings and come and work for him.
Yes.
And that he was effectively up the totem pole from Baron.
I
Yes.
completely forgot about that until you mentioned it. I didn't write it down in my notes because I was making shit up on the spot. But yes,
Okay.
he
Yeah.
does. You have been invited to essentially enter a higher level of politicalness. You remember that guy's name, of course, and position.
My character definitely does. I will happily mumble something every time I address him until we can figure it out.
Great. Now I definitely feel like I need to go back and rewatch the last episode. I don't remember what their name was,
Okay.
but I believe my belief is that they worked for the essentially the Duke of the planet.
Yeah.
to
So
some extent.
he's more of a global interest than a Hungetsu Bay interest specifically.
Yes.
So I just wanted to
believe
understand.
this planet doesn't have a planetary governor like the civilian position, and so there's a low key Cold War for like who's going to be the successor to the Duke.
Yeah. I mean, it was very much what we were watching your career with great interest, young Skywalker.
That sounds correct. Yes.
Yeah. So my question to you is just regarding not really understanding the protocol. So is pursuing something with this guy specifically disrespectful to the Baron whom we serve? Some strata societies very much say you stay in your place. Others allow for ambition and growth. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Japan has given unto the Draconis Combine the concept of Gekkojuko, which I think we talked about last time as well, which is essentially the idea that the people at the top always need to be worried because the people below them are going to rise up and overthrow them eventually. And those people need to worry about their middle managers because one of them is out to fucking ice them and take their position. The thing about moving up in the world is that moving sideways is usually the better way to do it. I'm going to make a really wild throw here, and the people of Battletech may not agree with me, but what we as modern Americans and our Australian allies think of when we think of honor and what a samurai / Draconis Combinian think of honor are quite different, right? Like for a samurai to be honorable, it doesn't mean like, yes, I fight a bunch of battles one-on-one or whatever. It's mostly about being a highly efficient killing machine and being good at politics, right? Like a honorable samurai is someone who serves their lord well, and if they aren't serving their lord well because their lord is bad, eliminating that problem and becoming the new lord is considered to be honorable. For House Kyeda here, the idea of stepping sideways and looking for another layer of power, there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to recognize that you do owe loyalty, filial loyalty to the Baron, and there will be consequences for this action. There will almost certainly be some form of punishment, but not like, oh, I'll execute you for this. But like you won't be invited to court as often sort of deal. There'll be a recognition that you're striking out on your own. You're making your own power base. And this is the bigger one. They won't help you if something happens to you. Right? Like when you set out on your own, you're basically saying the people who are supposed to have my back, I'm not going to rely on them. The Baron's not going to cover for your mistakes. There will be no fall guys. Whoever you are moving to is expected to do that for you, and if they don't, you're fucked. And this is a society where it's a good thing to have a fall guy.
And there's no way to play this to elevate the Baron's position, like the rising tide lifts all ships.
There's certainly a way that will almost always involve plotting and dice rolls to attach your star to somebody and say, I'm moving up in the world and I'm taking you with me. You know what I mean? Like there is certainly plenty of ways. I can't like specifically outline anything for you right here, but there's almost certainly nothing disrespectful about saying, I do want to move up in the world, but I represent my lord in the process. No one is going to think that's bad right up until the time where your power literally rivals the Barons, and at that point, it's going to be swords.
I think that's a little bit what's happening with Akari and her mom, right?
Yes.
Like her mom is making power plays and moving up, and she's dragging Akari with her,
Yes.
like up the ladder.
Yes.
Okay, because so the line that I think that Hiro wants to play is that, yes, our group has done wonderful things. We did all of them at the orders of our Baron. So he's the brains. We're the action as such. I don't think that Hiro wants to try and elevate himself above the Baron by saying, "Yep, I did this independently, and should be independently rewarded for it."
Interesting.
But
Now,
if he's like, right, he's out. Would you say he's not very ambitious in that regard?
Yeah. So Hiro basically wants to serve. He wants to do whatever he can do. Like, I said this in character. Like, he wants to do whatever he wants to be wherever he's most effective to serve the Combine, because he is completely drunk the Kool-Aid and is a lifelong supporter of the regime. So
if he's loyal to the Baron, right? Like if he's sworn his service specifically to the Baron, would he do something like the Baron orders him to like kill my boss so that I can rise up and then I'll pull you up with me kind of situation? Is that something, or is that like, or is the hierarchy on the whole more important than his service to the Baron specifically?
No, it's not. You're exactly right in the second case there, where he'd assess, well, hold on a second, is what I'm being asked to do in the best interest of the Combine from what I can perceive. And if it's not, then now's the time I did tell my boss, because obviously he's no longer working, he's no longer on the right path.
I see.
Yeah. And I think that everybody has some layer of ambition. I think that Hiro sees himself as without ambition, but in reality, everybody has some. So he just wants to serve, and to if working for this other guy means he's more effective for the Combine, then fantastic. If the Baron doesn't like that, then the hidden ambition might say, well, if he's holding me back, then maybe he doesn't want what's best for the Combine. Without it necessarily being in his own mind
this isn't a betrayal.
Move.
My loyalty is to the dragon, and you're not serving the dragon well enough. Classic maneuver.
Yeah,
it's crazy what you can justify with that.
Yeah.
So how do we translate this discussion into goals for people's characters?
Do you still have? Because I don't have on my notes the goals. I thought you were keeping track of them, AP. So
I am now keeping track of goals, but I'm asking because it's been so long since we played. I want to make sure everyone not only knows their goals, but has an opportunity to make new ones. Because Rad will go a whole episode and be like, I forgot I had goals. And I did all these things. I definitely feel like that's you. We had a whole discussion with James about how you need to break goals down into smaller goals.
And I have. You need to look at my character sheet if you haven't. Okay.
I don't have your character sheet.
I have. It's on the thing that's the mechs without number.
I have his character sheet open, AP.
Okay. I'm not sure I have access to that.
I've revolutionized my process. Okay. I probably have the most meticulously planned out goals out of anybody.
My recollection is that you've now broken down all of your goals into like a dozen mini goals to get to.
I've put my goals into chains so that when I come up with like a plan of what I want to accomplish, right? Because I felt like originally my goals were too big, so they were taking too long to accomplish. I didn't have a steady flow of XP, so I took like a big goal and I broke it up into like smaller parts. And then I've made a record of the entire chain of goals so that I don't lose track of what I'm doing, because I'm ADHD and have a terrible short-term memory and I forget everything every week. So I've basically made a future record of what I want to accomplish. So my current goals right now are to find my dad. And then the next goal after that, once I complete that, will be to confront my dad. And then I'll fill out the rest of that chain depending on how that confrontation goes. And then my second goal right now, last time we played, it was to arrange a meeting with the Shogun's son. You gave me credit for that because we met at the party. And then my next goal on that is to gain favor with the Shogun's son.
I think you are talking to him at the party right now, is my recollection.
Yes. We may have talked. and separated, and I may be finding him again. But yes, we're interacting at the party. It's on some
The
level.
last episode is a fever dream to me. I want to be extremely clear on that.
So
My
yeah,
brain was overheating, attempting to make an entire episode with no prep.
I was trying to get a read on him, mostly trying to figure out so I could game plan like how to gain favor. And if I remember correctly, my assessment of him was that he plays kind of a like a vapid movie star ding dong, but he's actually like a very ambitious, like tactical politician.
He's a
And
conservative, like wants to go back to the time of war rather than this weird period of peace.
Right.
Wants to support the traditional draconic policies. Yeah.
So it would seem then that my most recent actions would be a good starting point for working with him, right? Then he has to like what we came back and have it, what we did.
Sure. Maybe he doesn't
I would
publicly
think.
support it, but we'll
Right.
talk more about that.
Okay. So those are my two goals right now: gain favor with the Shogun son, and locate Dad.
So I had two goals down. So my
Okay.
two goals were to restore the blackjack still. That's what I've been working on. The other one was to finalize the marriage with Henya. Now, with the latter one, I guess do we need to break that down into more steps now? Because I think at this point in time we're sort of just down to like it's now a matter of time.
I mean, the thing is that you've really been extremely careful with her in the like we're political allies, but you don't have to marry me if you don't want to. And I've been like, wow, this really makes the decision a lot harder, because if you just said, I brought your family's sword back, now is the time to get married, that would be so straightforward. And you're like, babe, listen, we don't have to get married just because I went and hunted down the traitorous dog and, I killed your dad or your uncle, your great uncle, whatever. I solved all these problems for you.
Yeah, so I think that Hiro wants her to want to get married, like and so I guess like what I need then is next steps in that. I don't know if the next step is simply waiting for her to make up her mind, or if it's actually if Hiro can see influences he has to pull to do that. Because I mean, Hiro is a classic example of someone who will get friend zoned in a second.
Yeah, it would be so weird to have a goal that was like wait for someone to make a decision. You know what I mean? That's an incredibly passive goal that requires nothing on your side. But the thing is, I honestly think that's what needs to happen, but not as a goal. I think that's what's going to happen in the narrative, but it's a bad goal.
Yeah. So I don't think that Hiro can see next steps other than waiting.
Let me say this. What about arranging your marriage? There's nothing stopping you from like an engagement party or like starting wedding planning low key. You got to have your book, right? That's what the kids do nowadays. They put everything in the book.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a kid nowadays.
Well, that's true. You've probably been married for like 20 plus years, but I assume you had a wedding planner that involved catering and 15,000 other things. Out of all of the people here, I haven't been married, so I think you can really tell. I'm like, that's what people do, right? They've got a book. There's a guy who plans your wedding, right? Is that how that works?
No. Actually, I'll tell you a quick wedding planning story. When we decided to get married, we decided to eliminate some things as just unnecessary costs because we were doing a big overseas honeymoon. So we thought, okay, we're not going to have like cars. We're just going to turn up in our own cars. We're not going to have a live band. We're just going to have recorded music because these all save money. But I wanted to on the day surprise my wife with something, so I decided to surprise her by getting an actual string quartet to come and play rather than having the music. But I needed they kept asking me, okay, what songs we need to learn to play. And I kept saying to my wife, what music do we have? Oh, we can decide the day before, all we need to do is download the MP3. And I eventually had to say to her, about 4 days out, look, I've organized a band. I need to know what songs to learn.
Easy one to start with. Wedding March, I would think.
Well, she came out to Canon D Major by Pachelbel.
Wow. what a austere choice, I should think. Very calming song.
Yep.
Very demure, very mindful.
It is interesting that it was a song I knew. Of course, my choice would be at my wedding coming out to the Vitamin C graduation song. You know, whoever did that one.
Yeah.
That's what got rad right there.
What a pick from downtown.
Obviously, it's going to be the Imperial March. I mean,
Do the one in a major key though, because it sounds so upbeat.
oh, it's terrible.
Yeah,
I
That
hate
must
it.
be more upbeat.
Yep.
Be more upbeat.
We left. We walked. After the ceremony, when we were leaving, is it the altar? I don't know.
Sure.
The platform. We left.
The
to
dais
the
that the altar's on.
the dais. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. What did we play? The medal ceremony Star Wars song when they walk out in New Hope. Yeah. At the end of New Hope.
The one where Chewbacca doesn't get a medal.
Doesn't get a medal. Yes, correct. We included his roar as well, of course. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right, we have Andrew. Andrew, what do you have? Where are you at with goals?
His goal is to investigate marriage partners for part 1.
Yeah, I put them up in the Discord.
Good. Yes.
I'm kind of trying to work on a chain like Rad did.
I like this reconcile the identity one. That's cool.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of like a big picture item, and I think that's going to take steps.
Mhm. What are the interpersonal benchmarks for like coming to peace with like a kind of a dual identity of soldier
I love
samurai?
the fact that Andrew has like steps with missing steps in the middle, and it's included.
Yeah, I like that a lot
Right?
too.
Yeah, it's like
That's how
question
mine
mark.
started as
Yeah,
well.
it's like question
I
mark.
know where I'm at,
definitely.
and I know where I want to get there. I just don't know how to
Yeah.
get there.
Like for my Shogun Son one, I started with reproduce. I'm like, I need to have kids in this game because it's literally a generational game. What are the steps I need to do to get there?
Right.
Well, first, when a man loves a woman.
I think, yeah, right. I should have put that. Man loves woman. I
So I
think
think-
you just need to watch The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, and it'll tell you those 4 steps that come before reconcile soldier identity with identity of samurai.
Okay, so get really drunk.
Yeah.
Absolutely fuck up
Become an
the
alcoholic,
Satsuma
step 1.
Rebellion.
Yeah. Step 2, be captured by a feudal warlord.
Again,
and
just as a
held
reminder,
captive
Didn't I
in the
just get really
mountains.
drunk at some party off on the
Yeah.
Outworlds Alliance?
just
Count
be
it.
really clear. In The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise is not the eponymous Last Samurai.
Yes.
It's Ken Watanabe's character who's the Last Samurai. Just to be really
Irrelevant.
clear.
Erroneous and irrelevant.
First off, that's correct, but also
Yeah, I know.
it is irrelevant. I begged Ticking Time Bob to let me play Tom Cruise's character from The Last Samurai as a vampire in his Vampire the Masquerade
that'd
game
been
as a
amazing.
one shot. I wanted to just be
You
this.
just screamed, blood, blood, blood.
I just want to be this white guy samurai walking around who is also like an amazing shot with a revolver. Who's just he got over his alcohol problem, but now he's blood drunk. He didn't let me do that.
No, he didn't do it. Wow. You only drink like Cajun blood.
What?
That's how you get blood drunk. Has to be from Creoles.
Oh,
Everybody knows it.
is this a
Didn't you ever-
Gambit joke or something?
That was a thing in no, maybe it wasn't a thing. It was a thing in Interview with the Vampire.
I
Right? They
don't know.
had preferences for different like regional bloods.
God, I haven't seen that in fucking like 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
They got the spicy blood down by the bayou.
Andrew.
I think the reconcile the soldier identity with the samurai identity is kind of like, I think I started down that path with like unknowingly with the Outworlds Alliance thing, because he was at the party. I feel like he was very like belligerently a soldier and not representing himself as a noble of a foreign power. But I think now that he's back home, he's got to kind of rein rein it in. And then I think reconciling the noble identity with the warrior identity kind of plays into the second goal of like establishing his reputation on world. Like he wants to have a positive reputation.
Okay. I would like a roll from you to kick off this session.
For me?
Yes. Now that we're an hour in
Okay.
and we have 25 minutes on video, we're going to do the first roll to start the whole session.
What am I rolling for?
So, no matter what happens with this roll, you will have one candidate to talk to tonight.
Okay. Did we do that roll at the end of the last session?
I don't think we did.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Did we?
Yep.
What did you roll?
Off the last session, I don't remember. You'd have to go check the playback.
Let's do it again this session, okay?
If it's
I want to
bad,
be very clear that I required speed chess to make up an entire plot line out of nothing.
Yeah.
And it was more than one plot line. I had to make up multiple interlocking plot lines.
Oh yeah, I agree. I also know I rolled relatively well, and if I roll bad, I'm going to be mad.
You may go back and watch it, and it's like, because we don't actually show the TTS board, it's like, you'll hear the dice clack, and then Appy go, oh, that's a roll. And that's like, that'll be all we know about what he rolled.
2d6 plus whatever the persuasion skill is, plus your charisma modifier. On a 7+, you'll get 2 candidates, and on a 9+, you'll get 3 candidates.
Oh, there, I got an 11.
Okay. You have identified 3 women who appear to be of the correct age to date you, and of the appropriate level of both honor and nobility without being too high or low in either of those things, right? Like, you certainly wouldn't want to date someone who's, like, higher noble than you, and you also wouldn't want to date someone who's, like, not honorable enough. Like, someone who literally is just, like, absolutely trashy. So, the 3 women, we start with Lady Aiko Tsubaki. She is born into like a low house, like literal lord level, below samurai. She is a 32-year-old woman who graduated from the Combine's military academy. She is like a combination civil and military advisor. She's like a consultant that hops between both worlds in a way. And what you know about her, you got an 11, right? I mean, okay. Yeah. Yes. So what you know about her is that she is really independent, intelligent. She's a master negotiator, and she also is looking to kind of build the power base of the Combine into allying with other powers around them, which means like the Free Rasselhag Republic, turning it back against the Lyrans and turning it in, like, currently it's treated as like a neutral buffer zone. And her like politics, like her open political stance is like the Free Rasselhag Republic should be like a protectorate, like a close ally. She's calling for things like Tamar packed worlds in the Steiner like area, people along the border with the Lyrans to like jump back over, to bring like true pirate nations like the Oberon Confederation and the Valkyrates and shit like that, to have them be like, God, what's it called when you get a letter of marque from a major government? James, you're from a British country. What do you call that when you pay pirates to do piracy for you?
Privateer.
Oh my God, thank you. Privateer. She wants to hire the pirates as privateers. Okay, number 2, Lady Kazumi Yamada. She's 28 years old. She was a mech warrior. She was a mech warrior trained, but when she was 22 years old, she had a major accident and was like, her cockpit got set on fire and it freaked her out really badly. Her neuro helmet gave her some damage, and it's not clear whether she can still pilot a mech. She's just simply chosen not to do it. She is, however, like a samurai level noble. She graduated from a military academy. She has her swords. She is a mech warrior. Her father was a legendary mech pilot who, like any good samurai pilot, was like a regular Combine nobleman, or sorry, a regular Combine samurai. Nope, I'm still getting this a regular Combine mech warrior who earned his samurai status through battlefield victory in the Forced Secession War against the I was going to say Draconis Combine. Guys, I'm losing it tonight. I'm absolutely losing it. I'm so sorry.
It's all
Against
'cause I
the
did like this.
Federated Sons. No, it's not that. It is the bursitis. It is the knee bursitis. The pain is really bad. Her stance right now is that she is a political activist who talks about veterans' rights and military reforms for like bringing new people into the military. She is a strong supporter of Theodore Kyeda, and she believes in things like former Yakuza members should be allowed to join the military. Now, normally they're not allowed to. Theodore Kyeda has been pushing for it for some time. You know, they are essentially lifetime criminals, and their entry into the military would be giving the Yakuza some measure of influence and power. It's basically like letting the prisoners run the asylum to the Combine's point of view. But her stance is that the military indoctrination of the Draconis Combine will break these people down and make them into warriors. It doesn't matter who you were before you said your oaths, because the moment you say the oaths, you belong to the Draconis Combine. And the third person, Andrew, your camera is like flipping on and off. I don't know if you are seeing this. It's going absolutely wild right now. And the third person is Lady Suki Hiraga. Oh, his camera's fucked up. Okay. Yep. Lady Suki Hiraga, she is a full-time diplomat. She is from a merchant trading family, and what her family does now is less like direct trading and influence brokering for other merchants to do cross-national line. So based on where Valentina is, that means the Federated Sons or the Outworlds Alliance.
How old was this girl?
So Lady Suki Hiraga is 45.
You said she's like a diplomat /
Yes.
info broker.
Yes, power broker. So her family is like high-ranking merchants who married into nobility and basically bought their way into the noble line and have taken primacy about it. She is looking to strengthen what's called the Pillar of Gold in the Combine. So the Combine has like 5 traditional societal pillars, like the Pillar of Steel is the military, that sort of thing. Her thing is that the Pillar of Gold should have primacy over the other pillars, and a strong economy leads to a strong nation. Those are your 3, engagement candidates: Lady Aiko Tsubaki, Lady Kazumi Yamada, and Lady Suki Hiraga. Is there any one of them that you'd like to talk to first? And this 11 represents your wheeling and dealing in introducing yourself to the party and basically having people act as your go-between with these. Right? It's not like you can initially approach them first. You basically get like someone's cousin or brother or father or uncle to act as your go-between. And
Gotcha.
you have, on an 11, you've displayed yourself very well as a samurai, as a noble, as a mech warrior, and as a member of the DCMS. You have
Gotcha.
not fallen on your face.
If I was adding my persuasion to this, then I get a +1 to bring me up to a 12.
I don't think you can do any better than an 11.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
you've struck out already.
Gotcha.
Is
Okay.
there something you'd like me to add on a +1 for a 12?
No. I just
Okay.
I think I would start with. I'm just gonna work my way down the list. I'll start with the what was her name? Aiko Tsubaki.
Aiko Tsubaki. Okay.
Yes.
So
I was trying to write as you were talking.
yeah, I certainly said a lot, and then I messed up like 4 times in the middle under Lady Kazumi. Okay, so Aiko Tsubaki, as you approach her, there is this sort of sense of calm and peace. I think that there's perfume of like sandalwood. She's wearing a very Japanese, like futuristic cyber dress. You know what I mean? I feel like it has all of the trappings of like a kimono, but with LED underlighting somehow, and like weird sort of light bangles at her wrists and crazy earrings.
Gotcha. Super cyberpunk.
Yeah, super cyberpunk. But otherwise, like very tucked away, very traditional Draconis Combine. And she introduces herself to you. What is your plan to run game here? Listen,
yeah.
guys, I would love to have this as like an RP conversation. I'm not gonna be able to do that tonight. Let's talk about it on a meta level.
Gotcha. I think she went to a military academy, right?
She did. Yes, that is in the notes that I have made for her. She went to the Combine Military Academy.
Gotcha. I think I would try to chat her up about like business and work. Like she's you said she was a military advisor.
Well, she's a consultant for both the military and the civilian like government. Like a power broker. She trades around who she's working for constantly and just gives them connections, networking, and advice for how to do a situation.
I think I got it.
Okay. We can see
you. I think I'd start talking business with her. Like, not just talking about like, I'm not trying to like completely talk shop, but like try to bring in my own background about like being a kind of like liaison officer and, like kind of like how it is to get mercenaries on board with the plan, so to speak.
Interesting. You have bureaucracy or tactics?
Bureaucracy or tactics? I have a +1. Well, I have a level 1 in tactics.
I think we should make a roll with intelligence. Let's see if your big brain can show off here. Talk about how you approach the
Siegfried
business
does not
of
have a big brain.
mercenaries. Well, I think around here we let the dice make that decision. Well, that's a bad number.
Nope.
So is that one. I don't suppose you're an expert and you can re-roll this.
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, I have to imagine something about hanging, like, as much as this woman is a free thinker, the idea of hanging out with, like, foreign mercenaries who work for money rather than honor and spend a lot of time drinking, I have to imagine your stories are like, yeah, so I took them out to a bar, and she's like, yes, a bar. How quaint, taking these foreign money warriors out to a bar.
Hold on. Can I interject something?
Yes.
I think she can't get over my because you said she wants to bring the Rosselhog district back as like a protectorate, right?
Yes.
I think she can't get over my heritage.
Fine, we'll play it that way. She's just like, so I was looking into your family lineage on World, just in case we ever met. How would you feel about approaching your father to act as a political proxy for you?
Ooh, I would just voice that he's dead.
Any family members back home that can speak about, your new vision for the Free Rasselhag Republic?
No, they're all dead.
So I think we all know that your family isn't dead, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she's just looking at you. You're like, they're all dead. Thank you. This is a real 3 right here. I'm feeling the 3 for sure. She's just like, that's so strange. If you'll excuse me, I just saw something over there that's just so interesting. Thank you so much, Lord Arnsson. It was such an unusual opportunity to get to speak to you. Somewhere, as she's walking away, you can hear her just asking somebody like, does he have this unusual sense of humor with everyone? Is it a Rasselhag thing? He kept saying his family was dead. I have a picture of his father from 2 weeks ago. He's holding up a newspaper that says I'm not dead.
Well, shit. Okay.
Let's interject that wonderful RP scene with I think we're gonna go with Raddosaurus, maybe talking to Nosagi Shiro? That's the kid's name? Yes. You're muted.
How old is he?
That's a great question. He just graduated military college, so I have to assume he's like...
Okay. They're probably relatively close to the same age then.
Okay. So he's standing around. He's definitely what the kids would call vibing. You know, he's doing a Commander Shepard dance with his glass and just kind of like trying to seem like he's cool. He's trying to be in the spirit of things. But you know that this is 100% his playboy, bon vivant exterior hiding his true intentions of he's actually a ruthless, murderous politician.
Okay, from the meta level, so that I don't have to like role play flirting with a boy with Arthur.
Thanks. The last person who said that to me was Swargula. Again, I also don't want to flirt with you, Raddosaurus, and even if I wanted to, I don't think I'd want to run game on camera, and even if I wanted to do that, I'm losing my mind right now. So we're better at keeping this high level. I'm so sorry, audience.
I gotta put that back. I want to redo my survey, and I'm gonna put that in my survey. Be more flirty with cast members. More upbeat and flirty.
Name one cast member you'd like to see me be more flirty with.
Me,
Red.
No.
You just said you didn't want it.
That's called playing hard to get, Arthur.
Oh, got him in these fucking hands. You're gonna catch these hands, my friend.
I want to.
The ceiling of this party just a chandelier falls.
I walk up to him like this.
He goes.
He does. No.
He turns to you and he goes, "Lady Genji, is this some new dance move on the floor that I haven't seen? I've been away from this world for so long."
I want to be clever and charming and say something quippy that will be interpreted as both playful, but also like let him know that I've clocked his gimmick, right? Okay. And then, you know, I want him to know that I know.
I understand.
Right?
I understand. Listen,
we've seen move Sherlock myself Holmes. To the inside of the joke.
We've seen we've all read books with like Thieves' Cant, where people are communicating on a different level, right?
Exactly.
We decide these sorts of things with a dice roll.
Absolutely. That's what
I would love to see a persuasion
for.
with your intelligence to encode this message through your flirtatious advance.
What is this? Persuasion?
Persuasion intelligence.
Persuasion. No, I'm pretty good at this, actually.
Okay.
I have a +2.
Okay. That means you have a +1 on the dice.
No, I have a +2.
Oh, okay. And what's your intelligence score?
14, so +1.
All right, you have a +3 on this. I think you're looking for a 7+. That's a 6, my friend.
6,
but
+3
with 3, that's a 9.
Is 9.
Okay. He looks at you. He knows that you know. You know that he knows. You're both looking at each other. He
drops to a knee and proposes.
No, absolutely not.
Damn
You're losing your fucking mind. I think he gestures for you to join him on like an exterior balcony.
Okay.
So these exterior balconies are set into the walls of the first and second level like regularly. They're like, you know, just like a little half circle pods surrounded by blooming flowers and plants and all of that stuff. But they're also surrounded by like misters and heat warmers to keep people warm when they go outside, sort of deal. And also, you call it when they make the tinnitus noise to keep listening devices off? White noise generators?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically the perfect setup to baffle anyone attempting to listen in on you, while still being, functionally romantic in the way that only, functional and romantic can go together.
Functionally romantic.
He takes you out to the balcony, and I think that there are definitely, like, as the two of you are going together, there's definitely a vibe in the room of like, oh, these two wildcats, delinquent sort of, this ex-mafia princess turned mech warrior prodigy duelist, and this, guy who just got back from college, absolute fuckboy, like, oh, they're perfect for each other.
What
Let's
did you
gossip
call her? A
about them.
mafia princess? I
Yeah.
love that. That's perfect.
You are a mafia princess, more than the people here realize.
Yeah.
You've never heard this term, mafia princess, before?
No, I dig it though.
Oh, boy.
I've never been accused of being such. So it's first. This is the first for me.
Have you seen The Sopranos?
I haven't.
Oh, man. A lot. I have a whole series of scenes planned for either this episode or the next that involve a bunch of Sopranos references. So let me just fucking
I'll
throw
miss
those
them all.
out the door. I'm just gonna remove them because you're not gonna get them.
One of those shows that
That's it. I'm just gonna go with Godfather references, and it's just gonna be people handing each other an orange for no reason.
Yeah. It's one of those, I don't know. I have this thing about when a lot of people tell me I need to do something, I purposefully don't do it.
Okay. Well, I'm not telling you need to watch The Sopranos. I'm just saying if you
I didn't say
like
you
mafia
did, but,
stories, watching
society
The
told me.
Sopranos. Okay. Well,
That's another
society
reason
should tell you to watch The Godfather because it's a fucking
seen
American
that.
classic. But
I've never seen Hamilton either because everybody said to watch Hamilton, but purposely
I have
didn't watch
also
it.
not seen Hamilton. I've listened to the whole soundtrack, but I've not actually watched the performance on Disney Plus, which I think is okay because Lin-Manuel Miranda's in everything now.
Yeah, that's true.
Everywhere. So the two of you head outside, and I think that he gets physical with you, and I don't mean like he's smooching you. I think he like grabs you by the shoulders and just like squares up with you and like moves you to be in front of him, and it's just like, okay, what is it that you want, young lady? You've come seeking me. It seems pretty obvious since you're one of my father's retainers. You're trying to butter me up for when I'm the Baron. What is it you think you know? And this guy has his hands like on your shoulders right now.
Yes, I definitely chop those away immediately. Like
All right.
we're not.
He looks slightly surprised when that happens. Like he didn't expect for you to. It's not that he didn't expect you to have the strength. He just didn't think that you would oppose him.
Interesting. Okay. I absolutely oppose it.
Okay.
I'll let him. I do it in such a way that like he knows I let him put me where he wanted me. I let him because I could have done this, moments before and never let him reposition me at all.
Okay.
But I want him to know that like I'm a fucking warrior and you're a college graduate, and that's where you went to school for war, and
That's
I've
crazy
been in
because
war.
Rad is a warrior and I'm a college graduate. It's like our characters are the same.
I want him to know immediately that's where our similarities end. And that I have lots of blood on my hands and he has simulated blood on his hands.
All right. Now, let me also be clear here. This is Battletech. This is Draconis Combine. There is an inherent misogyny at play here.
Of course. Of course.
When you casually break his grip, he takes, I don't know that it's a half step back, but he kind of rocks to a back heel and is surprised that you would, I would
dare?
Yeah, like it's not disrespect technically, right? But if anyone saw you do this, it would not be good for him.
Right. But exactly. He, and he's who he is, right? He's the son of the Shogun. Like he's not.
You should at some point owe him loyalty. So this is really setting new boundaries for you. I think at this point, it's almost like he wants to start rotating around you like a like a fish or something, like a shark circling a fish. Just like he doesn't understand what's happening and he has to reevaluate you at this point. And he's okay.
If he does that,
You've made your point.
Is he gonna circle me?
Yes.
Okay, I walk away towards the balcony, like casually. Like I basically choose not to participate in his circling,
Okay.
like kind of ignoring him, but also like smirking in a playful way. And I just go stand, like lean casually against like the balcony railing. Right? Like
Okay.
I turn around, I put my back on the balcony railing, like elbows on the railing, like slouching and being like super relaxed. Like I want you to know that I'm interested in you and a partnership, but also like that's not the dynamic that I'm offering.
He moves to block you from being able to move inside. You know what I mean? Like if this is a semicircle, you're at, the farthest point away from the door, right? You're leaning up against the balcony. You're facing the door. He moves to move in front of the door. He's not trying to like physically grab you or anything. It's almost like he's at rest in some ways.
Right. I'm not trying to leave.
Right. I understand.
Okay.
He is standing there, rubbing his fingers like this and just going, okay. I see that our relationship is different from how I thought it was.
And that's
my understanding was that the House of Genji raised proper young ladies, but it would seem that you are truly a warrior at heart. Your reputation as a duelist is more earned than I thought.
It seems maybe the information you're getting is not as accurate as it could be.
I've only been on World for a few days. You'll have to forgive me. I thought I was speaking to a flower made of velvet. I did not understand that there was steel underneath.
I'm happy to have cleared that up for you.
What can I do for one of my future retainers?
I'm interested in understanding what your ambitions are and determining whether or not a mutually beneficial partnership can be formed.
I'm going to roll for him.
If you thought that I was a lady, a velvet lady, then I'm not sure maybe you're as familiar as you could be about the kind of resources my family has.
Okay, he rolled extremely poorly. So he's going to do an extremely stupid thing, and he says, well, it seems that there's some manner of trust between us. That you are willing to expose your true nature to me like this. I'll tell you why I've come home. My father is getting on in years, and I hear that you recently retired your father. Truly an inspirational message to all. I think it's time for a change in leadership around you. I understand your father's taken well to writing poetry, novels, memoirs, talking about philosophy and war. I think that my father could join him in such illustrious and honorable retreats. And he's looking at you with that sort of post-frat boy, 21-year-old, out to eat the world smugness.
Sorry, I had to wait for my alarm to finish going off on my Google Home. I'll respond, well, that's quite ambitious for someone just returning home.
They say to strike when the iron's hot.
And you believe it to be hot?
My father has chosen a path of peace. And I think that your recent actions have shown that a more active solution in dealing with our enemies is required. I have no doubt that when you return back to the city, he will berate you at a before a council at Hangetsu Bay. But have no fear. I will protect you from his wrath. All I require is your loyalty.
What a generous offer. I'd say it's true. My father was enjoying retirement well. He hasn't agreed with a lot of my most recent choices, and I do find that regrettable. But I also believe that comfort breeds complacency. And to be clear, what I did on Whittington was family business. It was a deeply personal debt that needed to be paid. And the consequence of a renewed conflict is more of a acceptable collateral and consequence that I don't begrudge or disagree with in any way. I made the choices I made, and I would make them again, given another chance.
Well, don't forget that your family's business, my family's business, as Harvard.
I raise an eyebrow at that.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take another roll here if this is you trying to be flirtatious.
Yes, I would say it probably
what he is trying to secure from you is an oath of loyalty to him over his father, and you
Right.
seem reluctant to give that.
I want to leverage that instead into an agreement of partnership as opposed to loyalty.
All right.
Not necessarily, like, I get that we're not like entirely even ground, but I want to get as close to that as possible.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna need a 9+
I'm gonna
persuasion charisma.
roll that.
Okay.
Use my special juice.
What did you end up with?
That was a 5 + 3.
Okay. Whoa.
So it
that was
would have been
pretty
an 8.
close. Yeah.
Oh God.
Snake eyes.
5. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll stand.
I think I'll let you choose how this goes poorly for you.
Okay.
I think one direction, there's an opportunity here for you to overplay your hand socially and be like, I want a partnership with you. And he'll be like, no, I'm much more important than you, and you'll never have a shot with it. On the other hand, there's a chance for this to be like, I want a partnership with you. And he goes, ha ha ha, you're infatuated with me. What a simp. And now believes that you're like a toy for him, essentially. Like, he will believe that you are in love with him and astounded by his sheer brilliance. Either way, neither of these is very good for you.
No, they're both bad, but I think the infatuation one is probably easier to overcome given enough time. So I don't know. I don't want to decide how he feels about my failure.
Okay.
I want you to decide. How would he take that? Right.
I think you overplay it then.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you.
I go on and on about how mutually beneficial this would be, and how I bring as much to the table as he does, and so on and so forth, and he doesn't buy it at all.
I think that what he says, because when I rolled earlier, he rolled very poorly. What he says is he gets in close to you, leaning in almost menacingly, and he says, listen, I appreciate your moxie, but you may be a mech warrior. That doesn't mean you have any political power.
He doesn't know anything about what my family does.
He doesn't know anything about your mafia ties. Right?
Okay.
I mean, we, as players, and now Kyeda and Arnsson know about your mafia ties, but your family has tried to separate you from that to some extent, and you haven't made any overt moves about it until very
up until recently. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So I feel like this is both my failure to secure a partnership in the immediate now, but it's also
you're going to rephrase it that it's his failure as well.
It's a continuation of his failure as well, right? Because he's not recognizing like a missed opportunity here. Which means I need to lean further into gangster shit so that he can see what kind of influence that I have. Okay, got it. All right.
James,
Yes.
you receive a like a communique from a messenger on a silver tray for you.
Mhm.
It is a message from Poe indicating that a mysterious pallet of supplies for your blackjack has arrived, and he is going to get cracking at it right away. And if you'd like to join him, he can arrange to have transport sent for you to bring you back to the estate.
All right. I will. Have I opportunity to send a response?
You can call him.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I will. I'll just text him on my giant Battletech cell phone.
They don't have text messaging in Battletech for
They
another
don't?
20 years. Yes.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
The
No,
Diamond
it's all
Shark
right.
WhisperNet is the closest thing to text messaging they're
Okay.
going to
Well,
have.
I'll just call them know that I will be. Send somebody. I'll be half an hour though.
Send a raven.
Something to do.
He did send a raven. He literally sent a messenger holding a tray with a note on it.
But I want to try and identify somebody in this party that is a social butterfly, but is not necessarily of high noble rank. Actually, particularly like because these sorts of parties, obviously, you can't have a bullet that's without a planner.
Yes.
So there's probably somebody, like probably a woman who's well dressed, who's sort of like surveying the ball and walking around, making sure everyone is okay. That's the sort
Everyone
of
has a
person I'm
drink.
looking
Everyone's
for.
having. No one's standing by the walls. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. If I could ask somebody at least to get that person's name first, that would be helpful
I don't
too.
think this even takes a roll. I mean, I'm going to guess that you've been to more balls than I have, but I've been to balls, and the person and the personages you're talking about, Vampire the Masquerade would call them harpies to some extent.
Yep,
They
exactly.
are easy to identify in person. They are busy all the time, for sure. And you identify such a person. And even more wonderfully, when you make it clear that you want to meet with this person, even just through body language, you find that they freed up their schedule in the last 5 minutes to speak with you.
All right.
So this is a young woman who is wearing like a strong sort of pastel color scheme in an almost Davionic like sundress, but there's also the theme of like butterfly wings, if you know what I'm talking about, coming off the back, like wireframe butterfly wings and like giant butterfly frame glasses. And she's standing next to you. This woman is like sort of like Northern African, like Egyptian sort of skin tone, Mediterranean based. Samurai heritage? Could be, maybe, definitely some form of like low nobility here. And she just says, "You seem like you were interested in meeting with me, Lord Kyeda."
Thank you for taking the time, madam. I don't want to keep you too long. I understand this is obviously a big night for you, but I was hoping that I might be able to take a card from you and perhaps convey some services from you in the future. I am in the process of attempting to woo the favor of a young lady, and I will admit that I am not a man of romance, but I wish to give her the fair indication of my intent, be it through gifts, through the like, and I would like to retain the services of someone that could potentially help me to do so.
I can put you in contact with people who are experts at acting as ghostwriters and proxies for such. You would be surprised at the number of young men and women in this generation who are not good at communicating with others.
That would be exactly what I'm looking for.
She reaches into her clutch and pulls out a silver card holder. You've been to Japan, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Her name is Aisha Rushia. And according to this, she is a lady of House Rushia. Anything else right here, real quick?
No, that's what I was really looking for. I mean, so I don't think that Hiro's going to try and convince Henya that he's writing romantic poems. That's not it's not his style, but it's more a case of he wants to make sure that she feels that she is being wooed. And given he is aromantic, the best he can probably do is get someone else to help him, like send gifts, flowers, etc. Whatever he can do to indicate,
yes.
you know.
Aromantic people seeking aid for romance. Wild. Absolutely wild. Siegfried Arnsson. It is time to make a choice, my friend. Balls do not last forever. Even
Gotcha.
ones that are being thrown in the honor of your friend. You can always communicate with any of these three women at a later date, but if you want to dance and speak with someone, you're going to have to pick. You could try to make another pass at the wonderful Lady Aiko Tsubaki if you would like to attempt to recover from that disaster.
I thought these were going to be like a one attempt and done type deal.
This next attempt is the last attempt, period. If you'd
Okay.
like to try to recover your reputation with Lady Aiko Tsubaki, you're welcome to. And of course, you can approach Lady Kazumi Yamada or Lady Suki Hiraga. You know,
So
if
now
you
that
need to top
I'm not
off that
distracted
info.
by right, I'm not distracted by technical difficulties in trying to fix wires under my computer desk.
Yeah.
So I think looking at them, I think Kazumi Yamada is exactly like what he's looking for. Prestigious family. She's a samurai, trained mech warrior. Maybe she doesn't get in a mech anymore. Who cares? She was trained. She did the thing.
Okay.
I think that's exactly the kind of person he's like. Like that's right up Siegfried's alley.
You showed up in your military uniform.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. She's looking over it and she sees that you served in Theodore Kurida's unit.
Mhm.
Gives you a sort of nod of respect. There aren't many officers who would show up wearing that unit patch. Certainly not here. Not this far out by the border. So far away from the heir's center of power. Are you a personal supporter of young prince? And she says young prince ironically because this guy's in his like 50.
Yeah. Right. I think Siegfried tries to deflect and just says like, you know, he's proud of his service and the service he's rendered and the service he's still rendering because I guess he's still technically enlisted.
I mean,
And he doesn't
this is no
want to hide
surprise
the
to
fact
her
that he
that
serves.
someone
Yeah.
in uniform wouldn't, in a public place,
Mhm.
speak politically on the air. And she says,
Yeah.
well, let me ask this then.
What is I'm gonna put you on the spot. What is she wearing?
Oh man, now you're asking me to describe women. This is listen, this is my nightmare because I used to describe people and I would always be worried of being accused of when I describe women being sexist. But then it got around to Raddosaurus. I would describe somebody and Rad would say, no, that's not what this character looks like. And it absolutely, after years of that happening, I stopped describing people overall.
Listen, I never told that this is a misrepresentation.
It is not
slander,
a misrepresentation.
Slander. I never said that's not what they look like. I've only ever expressed what my headcanon is. I'm allowed to imagine whatever I want. It's not my fault that your audience prefers my imagination over yours.
They do prefer. That's the hurtful thing, Rad.
I've never told you couldn't do anything or that what you said was wrong. I've just expressed my visual image. Sometimes I need Hulk Hogan to play butlers. Okay, it's just the way it is.
I want to imagine that Kazumi Yamada has the sort of same tomboyish feel that someone whose dad was like a famous coach and she went on to be an athlete. You know what I mean? Like, not like super ripped, but like a toned person who has that sort of feeling of like constantly wanting to move athleticism. So rather than describe her physical appearance, what I'll describe is instead her like inability to stand still and constant motion around you. It's not even like she's dancing or anything. It's just that she's making an attempt to like pivot and look around the area. But yes, I mean, she is a very conventionally attractive Japanese woman.
I was trying to figure out what her outfit looked like because you described the other girl's outfit so like
yes,
so
okay.
spot on.
So the butterfly outfit, That's because I recently saw someone in that dress, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna steal that dress.
No, the last girl I'd flirted with.
Oh,
You gave her this like big cyberpunk appearance.
yes. Okay, so again, I'm for some reason I'm just thinking an outfit that involves shorts underneath of a skirt, sort of deal.
She's in a tracksuit.
It's not me. No, but damn, you really got me on the spot here. I have to imagine it's something loose enough that you can move in easily, but probably like bare arms. You know what I mean? To show off her like level of tone, but overall, again, a feeling of, man, probably like something almost military cut. You know, as a former warrior, it's still like very squared off, like not like arms torn off, but like perfect square there, almost like a tank top, essentially.
Okay.
She starts a conversation with you, since you seem to be very reticent to talk like highest level politics. She instead goes in for a discussion with you about whether mercenaries should be given Combine like support for veterans, right? The Combine treats mercenaries like shit, but they still hire them all the time and dunk on them constantly. And part of her veterans outreach is the recognition that other great houses and other great nations do the same thing. Like, they have more or less permanent mercenaries like McCarran's Armored Cavalry that eventually become house units. And that doesn't happen in the Draconis Combine. And that the first step to doing that would be this sort of like, maybe what we should be thinking about to get these people's loyalty and bring more of them to our side is talking about increased veterans benefits for warriors who are serving the Draconis Combine honorably as like mech warriors in the front line. If they're injured, we shouldn't just drop the whole company's contract and fuck them over instantly. We should sort of guide their career path and then slowly absorb them as a house unit. What do you think about that? Is what she's putting to you.
I think he.
Now, just to be very clear, this is also an outrageous policy position in the Draconis Combine. It's insane.
I think he like agrees, but not like completely overtly. I think he mentions like that. I think her thinking is on the right path, but I think that there's a lot more missed opportunities in between where she's at and where we're currently at politically that we could like start small and build up to it.
Okay. So, I mean, you're more than willing to engage with her on this, and you're even willing to, like you and Rad have done, break a bigger goal into a bunch of smaller goals to get there. And I think that opens up a longer conversation between you and Kazumi Yamada, right? Like, you're taking her seriously, and more than that, you're giving very serious thought to something that would normally be a forbidden topic. And that has her interest. Now, the question is, based on your conversation with her so far, would you give her the rose? Are the two of you about to exchange cards, essentially?
I think so. I think Siegfried is a very like basic and direct in his thinking. And if he's having a pleasant conversation with this woman, I think he's already thinking along the lines of, yeah, I could probably see myself married to her.
Okay. With the night wrapping up, you and Lady Kazumi Yamada make plans to see each other at least once more in the future and exchange business cards with each other.
Hey.
As the night wraps down, is there any last minute thing any of you would like to do before we move on to the final part of today's episode, which Rad will be deciding?
What?
Yes, Rad. I've prepared 2 dooms for you, like 2 towers.
2 tombs.
One is the Tower of Saruman, and the other is the Tower of Sauron. They're very different, but also quite the same.
Quite doomy.
I'm so glad you said that because my brain immediately thought something way darker.
Saruman.
A lot of failure for me tonight. Things are going very poorly at this celebration in my honor.
Okay. I mean, you got a medal at a celebration in your honor. Didn't that happen last episode?
No one seems to give a shit about it, though.
I mean, it's a party in celebration of your honor.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm sorry I didn't spend half this episode kissing your ass, but in the background,
No.
that's
I'm not
happening.
talking about that. I'm just talking about none of the characters. I don't know. It's fine.
I'm
Everything's
sorry
fine.
the frat boy
I'm
thought
good.
he could push a young woman around and get easy
Well-
access to his treason against his father.
I would like to. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to.
You both rolled poorly, and you both
both
are
rolled
putting
poorly.
yourself on a track for doom.
He put himself way out on the line, and now I know stuff. Not if I wanted to, I could just go to
Motherfucker
his
rolled
dad.
a 5.
Yeah, we could both. I mean, I feel like
You could destroy each other.
well, yes, but I feel like I could fuck him up way worse than he could fuck me up based on what he told me and based on me just trying to be ambitious. Like, I think he gave out way more damning information than I did.
You rolled a 5.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would have liked to maybe pivot that the end of that conversation to at least being like, I look forward to proving you wrong kind of situation. Like, I don't want to end up. You said he was being threatening towards me, but I want to like disarm that and be like, all right, well, we'll see. Let me prove you wrong kind of situation.
Okay.
But I did roll poorly, so if you don't want to buy that, that's fine too. But no, I'm ready.
No,
I
I
don't have
buy
anything
that.
else.
He's afraid of you.
Okay.
I think we've
Yeah.
established that you're physically stronger than him and are absolutely willing to swing.
Right, but also that he knows that I want to be on his team.
Yes.
I just want to be on his team kind of on my own terms.
Right.
And
He
I don't
wants
know
you
if-
to overtly support his potential
Right.
rebellion, and you're not willing to do that. Got it.
I don't think I've done enough to like gain his favor, but I want him to at least know that like, I'm interested in a continued relationship, professional or personal. I don't care which way he takes it
Okay.
at this point. I'll take whatever I can get. You know what I mean?
So let me loop back around. Is there any last minute thing you'd like to do at this party?
Nope, that's it. That's all I wanted to establish.
James?
No, I'm good.
Rad, you will decide the fate of the rest of tonight, in and out of character.
Oh boy.
You must report back at a Hangetsu Bay to one of two councils of power. Either you prioritize the criminal empire summoning you back to answer for your actions and congratulate you for the vast wealth you're pulling in, right? You set up several beneficial trade deals in the card game back on Lushan 7, 8,
Right.
Lushan. And of course, as noted right before you left, you basically went all in with the crime. So
Right.
at some point you're going to have to be inducted into the gang for real. And that sounds like if you want to make tonight the night, tonight's the night you get your real tattoos. Your crime tattoos. Ones that are going to mark you as being part of the family forever. Other option is you and the boys head on down to City Hall and you talk to, Daddy no Sagi, Oji no Sagi, and report how you started a fire in the manner of a noble of the Federated Sons and may have in fact greatly damaged his honor. And
Why does that damage his honor? Like, we're literally in a public celebration about what happened. Wouldn't it reflect? Oh, well, okay.
for him it wasn't done at his order for
Right,
one
right,
thing.
right, right.
Like, this is very
I
clearly
remember
you
now.
heaping honors on yourself. But the other thing is that when reprisals come, and they almost certainly will come, it's his city and his lands that are going to be affected. Like, this is not you've done it, but the reprisals will not target you specifically. And even if they did, you're a part of his court. So if you lose something, it's still an attack on him. You've put him in an exceedingly bad position as, I don't want to say a pacifist, but this is not someone who regularly wants to go to war. and you, in your warlike state, have caused that. So your choices are tattoos and life of crime and celebration, or punishment. But to be clear, there is a price for those tattoos. It means accepting that there are going to be people, you know, you are a noble now, you're a samurai, and there are people who are above you in that. And when you join your mother's crime family, not only will she be above you again in social status, but so will a lot of other people. You don't join at the top. You're going to join at the bottom, and you're going to have to work your way up. So that means walking, if you go to the tattoos and the tea party and the crime, that means accepting that your social status is going to plummet.
So do I publicly become a criminal?
I mean, as long as you aren't walking around with your shirt off, no one's going to know, right? For a while, right up until someone sees you with the tattoos, in which case they will definitely know. But it's going to filter down through police informants. It's going to filter through other gangs. At some point, it will get out that you are officially part of the Shinsengumi. But this is a path you wanted to walk.
Yeah. No, that's the direction I'm leading.
And hey, you could walk away from both of these choices tonight.
I could.
You could choose to not go to either meeting.
I could walk away from this whole show if I wanted to.
No one's stopping you. You know, my favorite part about this show is I was like, you know, James, Andrew, we're only going to meet when Rad is able to meet. And they said yes. And I never complain. Even when there's a month and a half between episodes, I don't complain once. Not a peep out of me. And the audience has also been extremely respectful of Blades of Honor releases.
I'm not always the one why we can't meet.
I'm aware of that, but let's be real here. It's more often you than anyone else.
I don't know if that's true.
I think combined.
I think I'm a third. I think I'm an even amount.
Okay. You can walk away anytime, Rad. In character, out of character. In case you're watching on your third monitor doing Excel spreadsheets and not listening, Rad stood up, sat back down, and then held his hands up like a fucking weirdo. He's just combining too many memes tonight at once.
Use option 3. Set this party on fire too.
Yeah, I just set this house on fire too. I stabbed the sun on the balcony. No. Yeah, I don't know. Does Akari have any kind of... Does she have an idea what this will do towards the Shogun and his son? Like when she... Well, first of all, will they know? I'd assume they would.
Immediately? No. Eventually? Almost certainly. It's a near certainty that at some point in your life, whether it's weeks, months, more probably years, it will leak that you are a member of a criminal organization. And proving that in a court, and I don't mean a court of law, proving it in a court will be very difficult. Because it's not like your lord can just be like, take your shirt off, my lady. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're not going to come up to you and be like, these police reports say that you're bad.
Yeah. Will I lose my status as a samurai?
Probably not immediately. But if it's found that you're going around doing like contract killings and drug dealings, you're probably like losing your status as a samurai is probably not on the table, because what's going to happen is they'll just kill you and your whole family, sort of deal. Right? Like, you don't have to worry about being exiled or something like that. They'll just fucking kill you and everyone that knows you.
I'm gonna go celebrate instead of going and being punished. And I'm gonna put my faith in my mom that she has a plan for how all this is gonna go down.
All right.
I'm gonna trust mom. Because I don't have a dad anymore. So.
Wow. As a person who plays your dad, I'm very disappointed.
No, I still want to reconcile with dad, but right now, what's on my plate is, look, I can either go toe-to-toe with the Shogun and get punished, or I could possibly throw my hand in with the son to remove the Shogun and have a positive relationship with the new Shogun and leverage my status in the Yakuza to benefit that relationship, which is
Do you invite your friends to see your inking party, essentially?
I do.
Do the two of you accept and join this private criminal enterprise?
Well, before I say that, out of character, I'm pretty sure they already know this. Like
They
I've
do.
shared
You've
this.
told it to them. That
They
you
understand
are,
that like
yeah,
this is a part of like
who you are.
who I am. Okay. I'm not trying to surprise them and be like, hey, you guys want to come to this get together? And they show up and it's a bunch of criminals. Like, and if they want to respectfully be like, nah, I don't want to be associated with that, then my feelings won't be hurt. And I make that clear in the invitation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't want to be involved in criminal enterprise. I'm going to say I've already got, like, I've got something on tonight. I've already made plans. Thank you for the offer.
That's very diplomatic.
Yeah.
I think Siegfried would take you up on the offer. I think he wants to be there to support his friends.
I've tried to sell your characters anyway on like the Yakuza are an important like part of the Combine, right? And like I think she's definitely doesn't have a good read on like I think her and Arnsson are pretty like buddy, but she's definitely like I might have to kill Hiro someday, kind of like relationship with him.
So there are 5 other people at your ceremony. Of course, your mom, Akiyama Genji, is there. She's the headquarters boss, which is essentially the person that makes sure that the main crime headquarters has logistics, fueled cars. All of the soldiers are fed and given weapons that have ammunition in it. There's also the guy that they call the architect, Jiro. He is a financial position. He is essentially the advisor, which is the role that he has in the organization. His job is to advise the other positions of power on like what's going on the street level, what's going on at a business level, and what moves they should make. So for Jiro, his job is kind of like make sure that the whole organization is running smoothly guy. There is the Whisperer, Fujimoto, who is the legal counsel. I think in the mob, they'd call this like the consigliere position, but it's just called the counselor. This is a disgraced journalist who basically was running a story on the boss when she was younger, and he used the gang to squash her whole career, and she had nothing left and basically went to serve him, and he rose her up through the ranks to serve as his legal advisor. Like he sent her back to school to become a paralegal, and then like a lawyer, and then a lawyer of like not noble position, but like of importance in the government. And she is basically his sort of inside man in government affairs. There is the enforcer, Yamamoto. So he normally would not be at a ceremony like this. He is not one of the top level officer positions. He is here tonight because when you join, you'll be under his wing. You'll be joining the like enforcer squads of people who will be going out and knocking over. I think knocking over is a bad term. You'll be the part of the people who go to the shops and respectfully ask people to pay their protection money for rackets and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And if they say no, that's when a different group comes back and knocks them over, sort of deal. So his job is to make sure that the general soldiers, like the literal soldiers of the organization, are doing their jobs, which is mainly, honestly, to look intimidating and to be good at firearms. Since private firearm ownership isn't a thing, it's not easy to get training in owning guns in the Draconis Combine. And so former soldiers like the enforcer Yamamoto are invaluable at teaching people like basic military discipline. Part of the reason that it seems like he wants you is because you're a military academy graduate and you can absolutely teach people shit that he doesn't remotely know about, like high-level infantry tactics. Number 2 man is a position in a Yakuza gang. This is the Serpent Tanaka. She is like someone who likes strategy games and stuff like that. I mean like board games and shit like that. And would absolutely love to be invited on this show if she were a real person, sort of deal. to face GrimDarkJames in a 1v1 in Warhammer 40k, but her main thing is long-term planning and like guiding the boss. And the boss is the big cat, the big cheese. They call him the lion. There's a lot of symbology in the gang's tattoos. Almost everybody has what they call the dragon, but it would be very disrespectful to have like a bunch of dragon iconography, right? Because that's the symbol of the Draconis Combine, but specifically the rulers. And so to get around that, they get a lot of rooster and chickens, which are referred to as dragon. I mean, if you've ever been to a Chinese restaurant, they're like, get phoenix and such and all of that stuff. So there's like a lot of chicken and shrimp iconography for like dragon and phoenix on them to represent the gang rising clean once again all of the time. Because the Shinsen is the clean gang. They're going big places, big time. When you get there, the ceremony is nothing unusual. It does involve you swapping cups with the big boss and swearing eternal loyalty and then getting your tattoos. But there's just this weird vibe with the 5 people in the room here. And your mom is like looking at you and trying to communicate something with a significant NPC glance.
Yeah, I want to do whatever my mom is trying to get me to do.
Okay. Perception, wisdom, I should think.
Okay.
I think covers intuition.
This is, I think, just a flat roll for me. No, it's a +1 for my wisdom, so 9.
Okay. Your mom looks to be positioning herself to kill the boss tonight. Tonight, right now, at this party. Like,
Jesus Christ.
all of the top gang members are drunk, and you know that those things she has in her hair are like real daggers. This isn't like chopsticks, this isn't hair ornaments. You've seen these around your house, and you know that they are deadly stabbing stilettos.
Incredible.
And your mom is
do
like
whatever I
trying
can
to
to
see if you
facilitate
will
this.
back her in this play.
I will back her in this play. I'm all in on mom.
Okay. What level of violence are you willing to go to tonight to secure it?
Tell me what the levels are.
You and your mother covered in blood. Everyone else in this room is dead.
Everyone?
That's max level. All right.
Do I think that's what mom wants?
What about Siegfried?
Yes, they too. No witnesses. Yeah, no.
I'm giving you the 10 on a 1 to 10 scale. I think the 1 is she accidentally kills him and you help arrange it in a sort of she stumbles and accidentally stabs him and he dies. And they go from there to like figure out who the next boss is. But the thing is, it's clear that if she's doing this, I think a 9 is good enough. She's doing this for you and for her. Right? With all the people assembled in this room, if she removes the big boss, she can start to position herself. Like, the person who kills the big boss is positioning themselves to be the new big boss. And maybe she has to kill a couple more people in this room to climb up that ladder. You're not really sure. A 9's good. It's not perfect. Maybe she needs you to help cover. Maybe she needs you to intercept anybody. Like, out of all the people in this room, the Enforcer Yamamoto probably is not going to be happy that you kill the boss right in front of him. I mean, his whole job, on top of, being the leader of the soldiers, is to make sure the boss doesn't die in an assassination, right? If he dies right in front of her, that guy's probably going to react. And I think on a 9, you know that you're going to have to deal with him, essentially.
Okay, right? Because if he dies too, maybe I just take his job.
Yeah,
I'm the new,
maybe you just take his
enforcer
job.
boss,
You're
right?
the new enforcer. Yeah.
All right, that's what I want then. I don't want to go 10, but I maybe want to go like 7.
Okay.
Right? Like, I would like to PC glance Arnsson just to warn, like, shit's about to go down. If he wants to go take a leak, right? If he wants, or if he just wants to stand there and back up, like all of that is up to him. But I would like to let him know that, like,
How significant is this glance? Because if you tell him like violence is about to happen, he's not going to leave his friends alone.
mhm.
So he'll probably do something stupid like jump in and try to help you out.
I feel like I let him know. Like, I feel like we've been in enough ambushes and like we've done enough, we've raided rooms and cleared buildings and stuff. Like he knows like the breacher's signal for like the violence is imminent.
Okay, I think he's looking to you to see like to take your direction. Do you want his help in this, or do you want him to leave the room? Like he'll get his hands dirty if it's you asking. If it's like you or Hiro asking him, he'll get his hands dirty and damn the repercussions.
I make
But
no indication of what I want from him, which he would interpret as I'm not needed, but if I want to be here, I can be.
Okay, he'll stay to help out.
Okay.
Whatever happens, he'll beat someone's ass down.
Yeah, I don't want to damn him to be involved in something that he's gonna, hate. But so I want to give him the unspoken opportunity to excuse himself. But I want him to be able to make the choice himself.
Significant PC glance. Your eyes meet. You both nod. Siegfried, your answer?
So, Siegfried has a lot of issues to work out, so this is an opportunity for him.
He unbuttons the button on his overcoat, preparing to move with haste.
You give me the glance, and as we're like walking into the whatever position I'm supposed to be in, I just like take my jacket off and throw it in the corner of the room.
When you throw the jacket,
Cock your arms like Henry Cavill.
several of the people like watch this happen and are confused because this might be a criminal meeting, but it's a very like formal, high level event. Someone ripping their jacket off and throwing it, especially a samurai, is like, whoa, what's going on? Like, is this guy
And that's the
upset?
distraction
That's the distraction.
sparks it all
Your
off.
mom goes like, oh my gosh, gets the hair ornament and stabs the boss in the back. Rad, last roll of the night.
All right.
This is
Has it been an hour since I used my power?
You know what? Let's say yes.
I think it might have.
I'll be generous. Hold on, before you don't even know what you're rolling yet.
Okay, I'm gonna let go of the R button. And it's not gonna count.
No,
Okay.
It's gonna count. It's gonna count.
Okay, all right.
We'll let
I'll
the dice hit, and I'll tell you what you're rolling for.
All right. Well, you can tell me now. I'll just keep pushing buttons.
You
All
let
right.
the dice hit the table, and I'll tell you what you're rolling for.
Okay.
Fuck, that's a really good dice roll.
Tell me what my bonuses are.
Your bonuses are strength and primitive weapons for swords.
Okay, I do have a +1 in primitive combat,
Okay, so that's a +0.
so
and
it's a
your
9
strength?
total. No,
Okay.
it's a +1.
Oh, +1
If
overall.
I tell you what the plus is,
All right.
right? Because
I was gonna say,
it's
No strength bonus?
if it's untrained, it's -1. If it's 0, it's 1. If it's
I think that they've let
0,
you
0.
bring your
sorry.
swords in here to represent, like, normally no one else would be able to bring weapons, but because the two of you are real full samurai and you've both consented to being part of this criminal thing, they're allowing you to bring weapons as like a show of respect. And so everyone is shocked as you assume a kneeling position, you're drinking the sake that the boss has just given you. He's about to drink your cup of sake when the blood from his mouth is going into the cup that you drank from. He's like, ah. You rise completely smooth. You cut the captain's head off before he even gets done. Like, you do one of those, like, Aijutsu blitzkrieg attacks where his head just goes flying. Blood is gushing. Absolute 1940s samurai black and white movie. Goosh. Like, everyone in this room is just, like, completely fucking shocked that there's been a double murder as your mom kicks his body disrespectfully to the side, sits down where he was, and drinks his blood in your sake to seal the deal.
Incredible.
And some Game of Thronesian Lannister music is playing as the show ends just with this scene of Siegfried's outline blocking sight of the rest of the room as he's like standing there with a hand on a sword and everyone else in the room is like, maybe we should just chill for a minute. Like, we can figure this out later.
Can he have the faintest like couple of like specks of blood across his face?
Everyone's fountain
from
with
where
blood.
I decapitated the guy like right
Everyone
next
is
to him.
covered in blood in this room.
Okay. That's a real Kill Bill situation.
He's got the Siegfried's wearing the Brock Samson's ready for violence look on his face.
One twitchy eye.
Post credit scene.
Naked.
Post credit scene. I would like GrimDarkJames to make a mech tech roll.
Okay, no worries. What skill is it running off?
Post tech, I should think, for repairs.
Okay, which I don't have. And I mean, I don't know what Poe's contribution is. And it's
We'll
probably
say
running off
Poe gives you a
intelligence.
+1 and intelligence here.
Okay, so it's going to be a flat roll then.
Okay. That's an
It's an
11.
11.
These crates.
We're on
very
fire tonight.
Sorry?
We're on fire tonight.
Yes, these are great rolls, actually. These are good rolls. Let's forget that part where Siegfried rolled a 3 earlier.
Roll this way.
And his camera died. We'll forget that part. That didn't happen. Everything after meeting Aisha Rushi was perfect. These crates, very specifically, have had like logos that have been, like stenciled out or whatever, like someone put over it, but they look suspiciously like the ISF DEST Draconis Elite Strike Team red circle with like a black dragon on it that someone has just like very hastily gray spray printed over, but you could still faintly see the logo underneath it. And you think maybe that the ISF is showing a little bit of reward for all the initiative you showed on your trip. All of the murders, all of the recovery of assets, all of the arranging for a major weapons contributor to be, shifted into the hands of a friendly noble. Sorry, planetary representative. They don't have nobles there. They're elected, which is different. The two of you work for hours late into the night, almost silently at times, but you and Poe are just vibing, working on this thing together. Two people who've literally been on the battlefield working on mechs together, just enjoying a quiet night at home with no murders, no drinking.
Drinking blood sake.
Okay, let's talk about XP. I think 500 around the board. Minimum. This is
Are you waiting to be negotiated?
no.
What are you
I
saying,
think,
minimum?
I think 500 are on the board. Everyone got some form of goal accomplished. Brad got a goal he didn't even know he wanted accomplished.
Right. Criminal
So
ascension.
you can mark down that you've jumped from being a low-ranking enforcer to you're now an underboss, a lieutenant. Your position in the organization is captain. We'll see how long you and your mother last, given this sudden, inevitable betrayal of those higher than you.
Somewhere, Lieutenant Hiro is Detective
Lieutenant Hiro Goro is
having to completely rework his pegboard.
He stops using red thread and he uses the forbidden blue thread on
Oh,
the board.
no.
That's a Dungeons and Daddies joke. I basically guarantee that James is not at the latest episodes so far. But don't worry, when you get to the blue thread joke, you'll know where I got it from.
All right, keep that in mind.
I haven't watched any of the new season.
That is a shame. The Call of Cthulhu game is actually really good.
I plan to. I just haven't gotten to it.
I think it's
Okay.
better than season 2.
Criminal ascension to underboss.
Complete.
500 XP.
There's only 2 more steps for you to go to. Get promoted to a captain and then become the boss. And then once you're the boss, you have to become the boss of bosses for the world. And once you become boss of bosses for the world, you have to become boss of boss for the district, and then of the whole Draconis Combine. And that's pretty much it. Once you're the boss
I'm
of
so
bosses.
close.
Akari for coordinator.
Yeah, I don't know that Yakuza typically become the coordinator.
Okay,
All
well,
0
then
times in
The
history it's
new
happened.
Star-Lord then. How about that?
Oh, yes, the new Star-Lord. I don't know. Chris Pratt seems to want to still be the old Star-Lord.
The legendary Star-Lord.
Is that what do you call the leader of the Star? Is it Star-Lord?
Yes, it is
Star-Lord of the
Star-Lord.
League?
Yes.
Yeah.
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
I don't know. This whole thing's become a mess, but I'm just going to ride the crimson wave of progression here,
Hey,
I guess.
I was planning for your mother to do this much later. She was inspired by your success in murdering your father's enemies.
Nice. I aim to
Once you
inspire.
proved that you can go out and murder people and there won't be any consequences for your misbehavior, she realized she could just get it started in here.
Well, there's going to be consequences.
You've chosen to avoid them for now.
I just haven't faced them yet.
And the thing is, maybe you never have to. As long as you never go to court, you never have to.
I've already killed one boss. Now I just need to get with the sun, kill another one.
Oh my god. What a dark character arc we're both walking you down.
I seriously think my character will probably die. Hiro will probably kill her. I think that's where this is going. I think a dramatic showdown.
You scream, Kyeda!
Where
James screams, Genji! The two of you hold your swords on top of the Capitol building while running at each other in the night's rain, swords flashing, ching, ching, ching. In the background, Siegfried's mech is watching both of you and he can't choose which friend to pick. You're both so loyal.
He stands over my dead body and is like, you were not in the best interest for the Combine. And sheathes his sword.
So, your new Combine?
Yeah.
We did it, guys. We got through it.
We did it. Show over. Oh, okay.
I do think Siegfried's going to want to have a talk with Akari about like if she knew the violence was going to come on the way there, like before we got there.
That's going to be a great discussion next episode.
But yeah.
And if like I was only asked to come along to beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, no.
Was this a setup? Was I set up? Let's talk about the next episode, actually.
Okay.
What works?
One thing I want said before we get too closer is I do want to get with everybody, my fellow Blades of Honor, and I want to plan a trap for the absolutely the certain the Whittington reprisal that will certainly come at one point.
Yes.
I want to develop.
We should do it off streams. They might watch the stream.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I want to prepare for that eventuality, I guess is what I'm saying. I also started a future goal will be to train ravens to deliver messages for me, Game of Thrones style.
I'm not going to reward you any XP for that.
I want that to be a house calling card for.
Isn't your house sigil a drake? Sorry, not a drake. A heron?
No, that's Arnsson's.
Oh, that's his. Okay. I was going to say, what if it would be way cooler if you train a bunch of herons to be like.
That would be pretty cool.
I mean, they're like 10 times larger.
Yeah,
you know what
they're
I mean?
giant. I'll train some shoe bills.
A roseate spoonbill.
Yeah.
I train the herons to help bring babies home from the hospital.
You train an owl, nature's slowest flying bird, to carry messages because you want to punish them. Oh boy. Are we good for next week?
I'm good for every week for the foreseeable future.
Incredible.
I think so.
So we're good,
I think, up until the last
end
week
of
of
October.
October.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to run a game of Mothership on that week.
End of October is a good call because the last Thursday is Halloween, so I will, of course, be doing Halloween things.
Halloween.
Yeah, I'm trying to take my daughter to go back to go over to Georgia to go visit my sister.
Oh, I thought you were going to
nice.
say take her to go to Funky Town.
I want you guys to know I missed the ska show tonight in order to be here, so just know
what
that.
a loss in your life. What's your name? Your top 5 ska bands.
Top 5. Oof.
You notice he hasn't said any yet.
So like in the 90s, I grew up listening to the same ska bands everybody else in the 90s that listened to ska listened to.
I grew up in the 90s.
Right. Like,
You're
so
gold
like
bricking.
Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake. I wouldn't call Rancid a ska band, even though they had an album that had a lot of ska adjacent music. My wife right now, she's at the Mad Caddies show. Also really good. I guess they could be top 5. Let's see.
My favorite part about this is I asked him to make a list, and rather than tell me to fuck off, he's actually seriously.
I've done 3, so am I up to 3?
No, this is 4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, only one more? Jesus. Right now, a current ska band, which is an oddity because there really aren't any left, is the Interrupters are really good.
Okay. I didn't know any of the bands you picked.
I wouldn't expect you to. I wouldn't expect anyone to.
It's like, this is name 5 ska bands. Like, only 5?
Yeah.
I'm going to be selective now.
Yeah, I got to really narrow it down. Yeah, that'll be my 5. If you've seen, what's the show on Netflix with the superheroes?
That doesn't narrow anything down.
Damn, I can't think of what it's called. The Interrupters have a song on that show. It's got the kid that like teleports and goes through time, and the guy that has like the gorilla body. Somebody knows what I'm talking about out there.
What?
Oh,
right.
So yeah, the Umbrella Project.
Umbrella Academy. Yeah.
That's one. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the ska band does a cover of a Billie Eilish song that's really good. Just check it out.
Billie Eilish.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Is your nemesis Arthur?
No,
What was that?
no.
They're
My arch
feuding, for
nemesis is John Cena. Okay?
I didn't say Art. Just a nemesis, maybe not Arch.
Ever since she was like, "Oh my god, it's so hard being an ugly person," I'm like, okay.
Who said that?
Billie Eilish.
Billie
Eilish said it. She says she has a lot to say about ugly people in particular, and I'm just like, okay, Billie Eilish.
She did say some shit about I keep seeing women with ugly men.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is that I don't know shit about Billie Eilish. She wrote that Bad Guy song. I assume she'll be replaced in 2 or 3 years by someone singing a very similar song who looks almost exactly like her.
She has been hanging in there, honestly, for longer than I thought, but she's also more talented than I originally thought as well.
I'm just going to go out here and stake a claim, given that I don't know anything about her. She'll never defeat my number 1, Taylor Swift.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John Cena. I was like, no, she probably would lose in a fight against John Cena. That is
John
likely.
Cena will never be my number 1. And the only thing he's number 1 in is being my arch nemesis.
Okay.
Closing thoughts for this episode, this wild episode where I completely shut down at the very beginning until my ibuprofen kicked in.
You rallied?
I rallied on behalf of Walgreens Blend Fever and Inflammation Reducer.
Generic ibuprofen.
I've got a question, but I'll save it till after we've stopped recording.
Oh, it's got to be spicy if he's saving it until after. Okay. He wants to know what I put in my ibuprofen. It's ibuprofen flavored.
He wants to know like your top 5 ska bands.
I don't know. The ones that were in the 90s. I haven't listened to ska in forever. Let's see. No Doubt? Are they considered a ska band?
They were at first, yeah.
Okay. I listened to No Doubt. I don't think I listened to them when they were a ska band, but
Gwen Stefani's older brother was in Madness, which was one of the like pioneering British ska bands.
So, welcome to the House of Fun.
Do we count reggae music as being ska adjacent? If so,
yeah, absolutely.
I listen to a shit ton of Bob Marley.
Ska is just fast reggae for white people, basically.
What about UB40?
Haven't even heard of it. Is it something you use to clean your car engine?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm real curious what James is going to say, so we're going to end the episode here. But thanks to Patreons, who, of course, will get this episode 1 week early.